Hey, hi everyone. Well, I wanted to show you the windows in my RV come out, and that's necessary because the door is only about 22 inches wide. It's really 24 inches wide, but there's support bars on the side so you can pull yourself up when you're getting in the front door. So really, it only gives you about 22 inches of room, which is, most furniture is more than that, you know. So we thought about it for a long time. I really didn't know what to do. And finally, one day, I was installing the wallpaper. And when I installed the wallpaper, I took the frames off the windows because I wanted the wallpaper to go behind the frames. And it did, so that worked. But one day I noticed in the back, when I took the frame off, the window started to fall out. And I thought, hey, I wonder if I can take the screws out, take the window out, put the furniture in, and then we can put the windows back in. So yeah, so that's what we did. I took this window out. This window is big. It's about, I think it's 55 by 29. Yeah, it's 51 by 29, and so, you know, a 24-inch wide piece of furniture will fit into it if you do it really right. Of course, you don't want to damage the window. That's the main thing. If you bend it or do something to it, it's a main structure in the RV. So that's something that we were very careful about. This chest of drawers was not there when we were moving furniture in and out the window. So we moved the old fridge out. We moved a bunch of stuff out of the window, and then we moved the new fridge in, and the sink cabinets and this dresser, and really anything that was kind of big. Oh, there's a couple more pieces of furniture that we moved in this way. So when we did that, I unscrewed all the screws all the way around, and I was very careful, and I kept the screws because that's important. You're going to have to put the window back, you know, that's like a big deal. So I carefully kept those screws together. I had them all together. And then months later, when I go to screw the window back in, I have no idea where those screws are. Not a clue. So luckily we have a very nice Ace Hardware. So I went over there and I just said to him, I need self-tapping screws that are between this length and this length. I had a really short one and a really long one. And he found them for me. So interesting thing about, I don't know if you can see the size of this screw. Interesting thing about these windows is that some of the windows, the walls are thinner than other places. So some of these screws were quite long and some of them were very short. So I got medium-sized ones and I hope they'll work. So right now, holding this whole window in, there's only like 4 screws, and there's supposed to be about, I would say about 30 screws. So I'm going to go ahead and screw them in right now and get the window back in, and hopefully this will be the last time we have to take it out. But you know, it wasn't that big a deal actually to take it out. You just need to have somebody on the outside to catch it as it falls. So anyway, I'm going to screw these in right now. So I'm having a really hard time with that one screw. One thing I want to just recommend is when you're having a really hard time with something, just move on and do something else and then come back to it. Sometimes when you come back to it, it works just fine. Yeah, I've already stripped a couple of screws on that one hole, so I'm going to move on. Something I want to say about construction work, which, you know, I kind of did construction on this RV, is just like everything else. If you're out of practice or you haven't done it before, things can just go badly. You know, like I remember my first couple of cabinets that I tore out took like maybe 2 weeks on the weekends, tearing out one set of cabinets. By the end, I could tear out a set of cabinets in 20 minutes. So it's about, you know, practice. It's just about practice. And just now when I was screwing these in, I was thinking about how tangled up I got with some screws. It took me forever to screw things in. It took me forever to get screws out. I mean, a long time and a lot of effort. And this sounds so silly, and maybe you already know this, but if you look at the angle that the screw went in at or came out at, that helps a lot. Put the screwdriver in the right angle and it just magically goes in. So yeah, it's just like everything else. It's just practice. So I just did the first round around the window. I put the screws in that I could. They're kind of loose. Then I go in a second time and just tighten everything up, and I'll try to put those in that I couldn't. Okay. I have 2 screws that are not all the way in. I'm not going to worry about it. They're part way in, but the other 30 or whatever are good and tight. And I know the window's secure, so because I have been living with it with 4 screws in it for a while, probably a year. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. I have one more to do, about a half a window I'm going to do right now, and then I have some other things around the RV that I'm going to work on now that I have my screwdriver out. So, okay. You know, after I planned out everything in the RV, I realized that I did not leave a place for a trash can. So really the only corner I could find is back here behind the recliner, and I have this little trash can that's like an office trash can. And I'm going to use that with a big bag right now because really there's nowhere to put a trash can along the walls. You know, when I mapped everything out, I just didn't think of a trash can. So anyway, I'm going to just install this. You have to, of course, you know, screw everything to the floor so that it doesn't move when you're driving. Right now I'm just using a drill to drill the hole, the guide hole, before I do the screw. Okay, well, like many things, this is much harder than I thought it was going to be. I think I have the wrong drill bit. It's like a star drill bit, and these come in so many different sizes, and I think that I don't have the right size. So I'll be right back. Okay, well, this is something. The first screw went all the way down into the floor, and I can't get it out. So I just have one screw in. I'm going to add another one. Yeah, it should have been so easy to do this. But let me finish this one. Okay, I'm going to screw in the, I'm going to make the guide hole. Wow, that was so hard. Okay, you know, I don't want to be prejudiced against, you know, any gender, but every time I see a million different sizes of a million different kinds of drill bits and screw heads, it makes me think, I think some guy did that, because I think a girl would just use the same one every time. I mean, what's wrong with Phillips head? I feel like I've spent 25% of my time redoing the RV just looking for drill bits that match the screws. It's drilled to the floor. Finally.